want to welcome everybody tonight. My name is Mike, and I am the publisher of a website called The Expired Meter, and I helped put the driver seminar together for this evening. I really appreciate it. I know it's really very crappy out this evening, so I'm very appreciative of everybody coming out and kind of enduring the wind and the cold weather. What I'd like to do is, well, first of all, I want to thank some people that have made this thing possible. First of all, Alderman Waguespack is the political force behind it, and And the Alderman has been is really one of those nice guy Aldermen that actually, when some goofball from a website calls him, he actually returns the call and actually speaks to me. So I've always appreciated the fact that somebody who's a city councilman has actually would take the time to talk to somebody like myself. So I've always been appreciative of that. Yeah, and one of the things that we've talked about over the last few years is kind of the frustration that drivers have with dealing with the city as far as parking tickets and the boot and all those kind of things. And we just kind of went back and forth on it for a while, and we kind of came up with the idea like, gosh, we have to have some kind of class maybe, because the office gets a lot of these questions. We thought, let's try to do something where people can come out, kind of get learn about these issues from myself and other people that know about the issues. So here we are. This is the first one tonight, and we're really appreciative of the Alderman. I also want to thank IGO, who's here, which is a Chicago-based company, and it's a car-sharing program, and they do, it's an amazing idea, it's an amazing product, and what's cool is it's a Chicago-based company, and I being kind of a localist, I think it's great that they're here. They have some, if you get a chance and you're interested in it, they have a special deal going just for the people attending the seminar, which is $50 off their signing up with them. So if you get a chance, talk to them over there. It's really a wonderful thing. Also, Pete Fernandez at Allstate, he was very helpful in getting this off the ground. We appreciate him helping us out. And another Chicago-based company, Cobra, which manufactures a lot of driver technology, and they, if you get a chance, their red light camera technology is really amazing. I mean, they have probably the best database as far as where the red light cameras are located, especially because being a Chicago-based company, you know that their database for Chicago is really good, and that type of technology. Barnett Fagel is going to be speaking about red light cameras, and he's going to address those technology things that a lot of drivers might think about embracing in order to ensure that you don't get a red light camera ticket in the city. Also, to the National Motorist Association, Gary Biller is here. He's come all the way from Wisconsin for the event, and we're really happy to have him here. And they do a great job. It's essentially a motorists' rights organization. And if you get a chance, he's got a bunch of magazines, and they are really behind the motorist. And then also Cheetah, which also makes some red light camera technology, and we appreciate them contributing. I believe we have some units here, two units to.
Not here, but the coupons.
Yes, exactly. But I want to go back and let the Alderman speak for a few moments, and if please give a round of applause for Alderman Waguespack.
Thanks everyone for coming tonight. I know that it is a bad night out there, and we did try to open it up for as long as we can, but we'll try to work through this as quickly as possible so everybody can get home on time. Mike gave me 1 hour to speak, but I'll pare it down. The sheet that I put together, does everybody have a copy of this? It has City of Chicago citation and ticket numbers on it. Let me pass these around, if we could. And it's essentially a document that we put together to let you know a little bit about what we go through every day in the office and what we see as in terms of numbers and things that people go through in terms of traffic issues on a daily basis. As Mike said, the seminar was basically an idea that we had as we were kind of knocking this around. I would call up Mike on a Monday ward night when somebody would be sitting at my table and saying, I just got a ticket for being 13 or 14 inches away from the curb. And I didn't know you could get a ticket for that. And so I would call up Mike and I'd say, Mike, what's the rule on this? And he would say, it's 12 inches away from the curb. And, so the ticket is legitimate. But one of the things that we would look at, and it's in particular in the 32nd Ward and maybe some of the lakefront wards, we have a lot of people who put in parkway planters, big parkway planters that, basically surround the tree. They'll go up 2-3 feet high. They'll put them right up next to the curb, 6 inches away from the curb. And as you know, you can't park your car next to it or get out of your car door, so people would park a little further away. Well, we didn't know that this was one way to kind of help yourself when you went to an administrative law judge and tried to fight it by taking a picture and showing them that the ability to park next to that was hindered, and therefore you should look for a way to help them dismiss the ticket. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on who the administrative law judge is. So we'll, on Monday nights and just on a regular basis, we were getting a lot of phone calls. And so I would call up Mike and just ask for assistance, and that's what this came out of. Now, tonight is not going to be a get-out-of-jail-free type event. We're not going to tell you how to get out of every single ticket. We're not going to fix any tickets here. One thing when I got into office, I remember a few years ago, people would come in and say, hey, I need you to take care of this ticket. And I would say, I think you need to take care of it yourself. And there's just no way that we will kind of take it upon ourselves to deal with something that you as a motorist caused by yourself. However, if there's ways to avoid tickets in the future, if there's ways to prevent yourself from getting in trouble, we definitely will help you in any way we can on that front. So this event tonight is hopefully a way to give you some ideas about how to avoid some of these issues. If you look at the document here, the number of tickets that were written for non-red light tickets in 2009 was almost 2,800,000. Now, year to date for August, and we just had this in the budget hearings, was 1.7 million tickets written. Now, I think by the end of the year, we're probably going to hit about 3 million. So that's, if you think about it, that's about one for every man, woman, and child in the city. And
non-red light tickets.
These are non-red light tickets, and red light tickets will be addressed a little bit later in the program. But you can look through and you can see just the numbers that we're talking about in the city council in terms of revenue, in terms of number of tickets, and obviously the number of calls that come from that. Some common issues that we run into in the 32nd Ward: street cleaning, pickup truck and parking vans. It's a special sticker that you have to get. Of course, the snow routes that are coming up. Last year we had quite a few people who were towed in the ward because they didn't know about the overnight bans. And we do have a lot of students in the ward who we try to get the word out through at DePaul University and say, look, you might be just coming in for one of those you're coming in on the quarter system over at DePaul. You might not know that Chicago has all these types of laws that you have to follow, and parking permit issues and residential parking issues. So there's a lot of things you want to watch out for as you're driving your car. As you go through the packet, we put together just by ward where the most boots are and where the most tickets are. And you can see that a lot of it's concentrated on the lakefront. So I think that might be partially why we were looking at doing this as well, is that a lot of our constituents get hammered with tickets, mostly because there's a higher concentration. And Department of Revenue doesn't always explain why, but I think it has a lot to do with not only the density, but just the number of people coming in. Cubs games are a big issue, and the type of residential parking we have there as well. On the back is the snow routes and the streets that you should watch out for. And then if you're either living in the 32nd Ward or visiting on a daily basis, we have the street sweeping map that we put together that's available on our website. And we put this together we send it out every week once we get the schedule. And it's a way to help you avoid getting tickets for street sweeping. We send it out on a weekly basis. And one thing that we've been working on with the first ward, with Alderman Moreno, is a new text prevention measure. And he's essentially sending out text messages for when your street is going to be swept. And so we're looking at that technology as well, and the cost is pretty minimal. So we're going to be probably looking at doing that next year in the 32nd Ward. But this is just one way to help you prevent yourself from getting a ticket. So as many of you know, the last thing I want to talk about is the parking meter situation. And we all know, or at least we all think it was a bad deal, and not only financially, but just in the way that the meters are now handled by LAZ, or LAZ. And just so you know, and I think Mike's going to touch on it a little bit as well, there's at least 4 groups that can give you a ticket. There's LAZ that controls the meters. There's a company called Serco, which has had a contract with the city for quite a few years, and they have basically people who go out late at night, and you've probably run into them. They might have a yellow vest on, and they're looking at your plate or your sticker on your car, and they've been on my block many times. And the police can give you tickets, and Department of Revenue, and as well as TMA. So there's essentially 5 or 6 groups working for the city or within the city that can give you a ticket. So there's plenty of eyes on everything that's going on. So tonight we're just going to talk about a few of the ways to avoid getting some of those tickets. And then if you do get one of those tickets, how you can either help yourself out of it or avoid it in the future. So with that, I think I'm going back to Mike, and I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. If you have questions, we're going to have suggestion cards that we'll hand out. You can write on them questions that if you want us to take them back and address them via email or phone call, that would be fine. If you have suggestions about how to better run the event, this is the kickoff event, but we're going to try to do it better as we go with the 1st Ward and possibly the 44th. So I just want to say again, thank you for coming out tonight, and enjoy your time here, and feel free to ask questions as we go. We're going to break it up so that there's Q&A after every speaker. All right? Thank you very much.